with this. They said Umahi should not be caught doing this. What's your take as regards this?
That woman, let us say the reality. Naturally, she has a charming body. That whosoever come closer to her, that is man. If the man is not careful, the man will fall. Even if the man body did not rise up, that man is already dead. So that's the only thing in her nature. And moreover, she's a widow now. She's a widow. So by and by, some people like to play funny with her. But the wrong side of it, it's not good to be doing it in public. As the ex-governor of Ebonyi State, the picture is trending, the video is trending in the internet, how the handle overpass and go to the backyard. And you know Bianca has a very good premises. She has a very good premises. The backyard is okay. The front view is okay. So any man that has an NPC pipeline that is functioning well must surely, body must surely shake. That's the only thing in it. That Nigerian politicians are funny of losing control to their female counterparts. Their own artery is out of control. Their own artery vein is out of control. They can't control it. They can't control. But Nigerian one is somehow. So they said in public, your hand overpass the boundary. As I was watching. I don't know whether it's AI or so. But if it's reality, no, it's not good. It's not good. It's a slap to Nigerian male politicians. Now, had he been, if in reality, if Ojukwu raised verse at the time, they say, na lie. I want to tarnish the image of Nigerian pollution. A senator for put this against Bianca. If he raises voice up, that Bianca may not raise it up, because at least she needs somebody to warm her. No, Bianca is Anambra by marriage, but then by birth she's from Enugu. If the Igbos, does it mean that he should cross boundary? Although she's a widow now, but she's a married woman before becoming a widow. Some people own that property. Yeah, had it been Bianca is a woman who knows the Igbo culture. So a person owns that property now. If Ojukwu die, a person owns that property now. So it's not good for a thing that will be going on in public. Will be going on in public as if you say she's a free woman like that.
But this has caused a lot of conversation or division on social media. And they said this has brought back the memories of Akpabi and Natasha. They said with this now this is what the male counterpart, just like you said, the male counterpart and do to the female counterpart. Do you think that Bianca should sue Umahi for this? Because some are saying it should be sued for sexual harassment. Or are you looking at it in a way that they are related based on both of them are from the southeast?
Not that both of them are from southeast. It will be sexual harassment or embarrassment if Bianca took action. But if Bianca like it, if it's sued to her, if that sort of thing is happening and Bianca appreciate it, it's not a sexual embarrassment. Why Natasha own came? Because Natasha said no. Had it been Natasha keep him overlook everything and to succumb, nobody will know, nobody will hear it. But Natasha feel that it's a slap to her and her husband for another man to come and be messing her up. You understand? But some people, it will not be an embarrassment to them. They will appreciate it. They will welcome it. Therefore, whosoever welcome it, it's not no sexual embarrassment. But who did not welcome it, become a social embarrassment. It depends on the choice of someone. So people should not raising up. Do you know whether it was Bianca? If that is really happened, do you know what is Bianca invited to be? They should wait until when Bianca start crying. But all I know, it's not good for such type of thing to be happening in public where all I will seen it. If it happens so, can Umahi treat his own wife like that in public? If that is real, can Umahi do such type of thing to his wife in public? If it's real. But all is left for Bianca. You know, there was a time when former governor of Anambra State, Bianca slapped Willow wife because of act like this. Willow wife, former governor of Anambra State, insult her, calling her a prostitute. Then she rise up and slap that woman. Maybe something like this is going on. Maybe that's what that woman made that woman to call her what she called her and her reaction. Had it been that day that woman insult her in that way, had it been Bianca keep short, it won't escalate. Just like this. If Bianca keep short, it won't escalate. But if Bianca react as a reactor to former Anambra State wife, it will escalate. Then it will be a reality. You understand? So the game depends whether the two people that are playing the game or trying to play the game or want to play the game, whether they appreciate the game they are playing. If two of them appreciate it and it's good to them, oh well. That's Romeo and Juliet. You understand? That's Romeo and Juliet. It's not anybody's affairs.
Hello, great people. One of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's prominent minister, Dave Umahi, who happens to be the Minister of Works, is currently in deep trouble with Nigerians, particularly people of Igbo extraction and women at large, for allegedly placing his hands on what many call the prestigious, the luxurious and elegant waist of Bianca Ojukwu, the wife of the late Odumegwu Ojukwu. This happened in Anambra State during the president's visit to the state. Some of you think that the high point of the president's visit to Anambra State was when Governor Chukwuma Soludo made the declaration that APGA will be supporting the president in 2027 as against the former governor of the state, who happens to be a presidential prospect, Mr. Peter Obi. But some of you don't know that there's another issue that is making the rounds seriously, and which is that of Dave Umahi allegedly placing his hands on the waist of Bianca Ojukwu. On this episode with your sure plug, Dr. Omosoladeji, we will be dissecting this image that you are seeing on your screen. We'll be making sense of it. But before I do that, I would like to take some reactions that I saw on social media, because I realized that even Odumegwu Ojukwu is speaking from his grave, and I will share the reaction of a social media page that bears the name Odumegwu Ojukwu. I will share it with you, and some other interesting reaction that I have seen. Then after that, we will dissect the associated issues, why the people are reacting the way they are reacting. Then lastly, which is the big one, we'll be making sense of that particular image. We'll be dissecting it, we'll be reviewing it, and a whole lot more on this episode with your show blog, Dr. Omosoladeji. First, let me share some comments with you which I find very, very interesting, which is that, for instance, as you can see on your screen, there is a comment by one Odumegwu Ojukwu, and the picture of the husband of Bianca, the late Ojukwu Ojukwu, is the profile picture. And the person said in capital letter, you know, when you write in capital letters, it means you are screaming. And it says, Umahi. So that means that Odumegwu Ojukwu is, you know, on a lighter note, you know, even screaming from his grave that, Umahi, how dare you? Is that not your hand on the waist of my wife? Now, let's take another comment by our Igbo brethren, which is that of Kajitan Chiko Uwoha, who says, another sexual harassment loading between Minister of Works and Minister of State for Foreign Affairs. If Ambassador Bianca Ojukwu slaps Umahi, his town men will begin defending him that Bianca Ojukwu is not beautiful. Please, what is wrong with these men in APC? You can see how stray bullet is meeting the men in APC, particularly the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio. I have 6 interesting comments for you, and the last one is from a prominent person. Now, this is the third one from Greek Viewed TV, but from the image, it shows that the person is of the Igbo extraction. It says, politicians and women waste. Tinubu's minister, Chief Dave Umahi, Tinubu's minister, Chief Dave Umahi, on fire for attempting to grab the curved waist of Bianca Ojukwu during President Tinubu's visit to Anambra on Thursday. From the trending pictures, the Minister of Works, Engineer Dave Umahi, who is a titled man on chieftaincy red cap, was allegedly placing his hands on the expensive waist of Ambassador Bianca Ojukwu, but received a light resistance from the former Miss Nigeria. Now, the next comment that I find interesting is that of Theophilus Ukachukwu, who says Umahi finds favor in the waist of Ojukwu's wife. Senate will still summon him for trespassing and trying to replace Akpabio. You can see how straight bullet is meeting the Senate president. He said this present Senate will soon pass a bill to prevent ministers from sitting close widows. Trust me, the eyes will have it under Akpabio. And another one says, what is happening here with Bianca Ojukwu? They said Senator Akpabio has chosen David Umahi as his successor. Reactions: he simply blocked the hand of Mr. Dave Umahi, who want to reap where he did not sow. All these comments are coming from the Igbo brethren. I need to take them before I now kind of like give you my own perspective on it. And now, the last one that I want to take is that of Rudolph Okonkwo. Some of you know him as Dr. Damages. He says that looking for evidence of the prevalence of sexual harassment in Nigeria, Dave Umahi provides Natasha Akpoti, another woman, with one. In this picture, Bianca Ojukwu skillfully prevented the Minister of Works from touching her after he put his hand around her waist. This public display is proof that a lot of Nigeria's big men are predisposed to harassing women. That is from Rudolph Okonkwo, popularly called Dr. Damages. Some of you know him on YouTube. He's quite popular on the platform. Now, let us go back to the issues. First, what I can say, I need to read this comment to you because I have some things as regards it. And the first thing is that I must say that Ojukwu, the late Ojumegu Ojukwu, will be proud of his Igbo brethren. Wherever he is right now, he will be so very proud because the blaming, the condemnation on Umahi is massive. It shows that the Igbo people still loves Ojukwu dearly because Ojukwu has died so many years ago, maybe about 10 years or more, and the people are still policing his wife. They are still interested in what happens to his family. That is quite interesting. That doesn't happen every time. That somebody would have died many years ago and people will still be putting eye on his wife or on his family. That rarely happens. So I think Odumegwu Ojukwu will be proud anywhere he is, and that shows the love that the Igbo people have for Odumegwu Ojukwu, because the blaming, the condemnation on Umahi is massive, just as I just read for you, and not many people are giving him a benefit of the doubt. And one thing I noticed is that Ojukwu seems to be to the Igbos what Abacha is to Kano. And the way the Igbo people love Ojukwu, that's the way Abacha people love Kano. I used to think Abacha is a bad guy, not until I did my NYC years ago in Kano, and I saw Abacha's picture on every commercial motorcycle and commercial vehicles at that point in time. And I was thinking, oh, is this not the same Abacha that people are saying is bad? So to the Igbo people, I think Ojukwu is to them what Abacha is to the Kano people. They love him and they revere him. Now let us go to the big one, which is the analysis of that image. Now I need you to look at that image carefully, and if you are a polythinker, a genuine one, an ardent viewer of my channel, I want to see your perspective of that particular image in the comment section. But I will share mine with you, which is that if you look at this particular image very well, you will see that Bianca cannot reach out for Umahi's hand from the back, in the sense that it is not easy for Bianca to put her hand at the back and be reaching out for Umahi's hand, but it is more easy for Umahi to stretch his hand to the back of Bianca, to reach out for the waist of Bianca. It's quite easy for Dave Umahi. So if you look at that image very well, you will see that there would have been an excuse for Umahi if Dave Umahi was sleeping, in the sense that that if his leg slipped and he was about to fall down, then his hands moved backward and he tried to grab Bianca to support himself from not falling down. That would have been a bit arguable. But if you look at it, Dave Umahi is standing tall, is not falling down in any way. So you can see, you can imagine that what would his hand be going towards that the waist of Bianca Ojukwu. Another thing to look at is that even if you want to greet Bianca Ojukwu, from the look of things, Bianca is facing front, Bianca is looking forward. So if Dave Umahi is just coming from the back, if he wants to greet Bianca Ojukwu, the logical way is maybe Max to kind of like put your hand round her neck and say, oh, my sister, how are you? You know, the usual greeting. That is the max that you can do. But for you in a public gathering to now reach out, that your hand is now reaching out and is now going to the waist region, it may not be intentional, it may not have any bad intention, but then it shows that Dave Umahi himself needs to be very careful, and he needs to kind of like watch how his hands move forward and backward so that his hands doesn't put him in trouble. Imagine if he doesn't know how to control his hands. Imagine if it were to be Remi Tinubu. Just imagine it, that in this picture is Remi Tinubu. That can get Umahi fired if Bola Ahmed Tinubu sees the picture and his head goes haywire that, my darling Remi, my precious Remi, my one and only, you, what is your hand doing there? That can put him in serious trouble. So I think that if you look at that image very well, I think Dave Umahi needs to be very careful, more careful, if I can say, in terms of the movement of his hand, because it is easy for Umahi to reach out for Bianca's waist than for Bianca to put her hand at the back. It is not easy for Bianca to greet Umahi putting her hand at the back, but it is easy for Umahi to reach out for the waist of Bianca in the name of greeting her. And if you look at it very well, the length of Umahi's hand, take a look at that picture, the length of Umahi's hand from his shoulder across to Bianca is beyond unconscious, in the sense that it is not just a little stretch, it is a long stretch. If you look at that picture very well, the length of Umahi's hand from his shoulder across to Bianca's waist is beyond unconscious. And that is why I said Dave Umahi needs to be very careful. But then again, is there something between the two of them? Well, maybe, maybe not. But what I can say is that if so, well, they are adults and they are free to make choices. If you look at it, Umahi is not a bad guy, and Umahi is not somebody that is not qualified to date Bianca Ojukwu in the true sense of it. Umahi is a former governor, is a minister, he's not a small boy, you know, to use street parlance. Umahi is a big guy as well. So if they find love in the sight of each other, I believe Umahi is married. So I don't know where Umahi want to place his wife if they are allegedly in love. But then again, you know, he has to be very careful the way they interact in public. That is if something is between them. But then, like I said, they are free to make choices because they are adults. And if you look at it anyway, Ojukwu, the late Biafra leader Ojukwu died over 10 years ago. So what will stop his wife from kind of like having an affair if she so decides to? Ojukwu died so many years ago. So I think it is unfair for people to be policing Bianca's body when Ojukwu has died so many years ago. It is not a year ago or 2 years ago. And like I said, Bianca is free to make a choice. So it is between both of them. But I hope that we won't get all this harassment allegation back and forth as regards this. It's been an interesting time with you. Subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past video. See you in my next video. I love you all sincerely.